A crucial vote on UK. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Brexit deal was facing a last-ditch bid by anti-Brexit MPs to derail it hours before lawmakers were due to cast their votes, as thousands protested outside Parliament. The rare Saturday session of Parliament was surrounded with both drama and a cloud of unknowns ahead of the vote expected late in the day, and comes just days after Johnson had secured a new withdrawal agreement with European leaders during the week, ahead of Britain's scheduled departure from the bloc at the end of the month. Lawmakers on both sides of the issue had warned of the danger of leaving without a deal, and Johnson had hailed the agreement as one that would satisfy hardline Brexiteers while making sure that the UK did not crash out of the bloc. "Let us come together as Democrats behind this deal, the one proposition that fulfills the verdict of the majority but which also allows us to bring together the two halves of our hearts, to bring together the two halves of our nation," he told lawmakers, according to the Times of London. As lawmakers debated the measure, thousands of mostly anti-Brexit protesters marched through the streets of London. Many of them were calling for a second referendum, something that those opposed to Brexit have been calling for since shortly after the first referendum in 2016, where 52% of voters chose to leave. While polls show Johnson's Conservative Party leading comfortably in the polls, there is a strong alliance of anti-Brexit parties in Parliament, and polls suggest that the public is still mostly split down the middle on Britain's departure from the EU. The vote, should it be held, is expected to be decided by just a handful of undecided MPs. However, it was facing yet another hurdle being put down by anti-Brexit MPs in the shape of an amendment that would force Johnson to still request a delay in Britain's departure, even if the deal passed. Supporters of the amendment, put forward by independent and former Tory MP Oliver Letwin, say it will remove the risk that the UK could still fall out of the bloc by mistake if there was a problem getting through Parliament the formal legislation needed to implement the deal. But it would require Johnson, who has repeatedly promised that Britain would leave the EU on October 31, to request a delay to the departure date. European leaders have said that there would be no further delays now that there is a deal on the table. "I want us to finish this off and speak about the future," French President Emmanuel Macron said on Friday. "The October 31 date must be respected. I don't believe new delays should be granted." If the Letwin amendment was to pass, the Times of London reported that Downing Street would abandon the vote and sent MPs home. Should the amendment be foiled, Johnson still faces the daunting task of getting his deal over the line by itself. His party holds only 288 seats in the 650-seat House of Commons, so will require support from pro-Brexit MPs in other parties, while limiting defections within his own. It was a task that evaded former Prime Minister Theresa May, who failed to get her own deal through on 3 separate occasions before she resigned in the summer. Johnson's deal differs from the May's deal on the crucial aspect that it abandons the controversial backstop proposal that would have seen the UK kept in a customs union until a formal trade deal was made. The backstop was made to prevent a hard border between Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK, and Ireland, which is remaining within the EU. But in Johnson's deal a special status is created for Northern Ireland which allows it to keep an open border with Ireland but while keeping unity with the rest of the UK.